Thanks for joining me. Going to be doing a toolbox tour today with my little garage setup here that I got. Go through what I have for wrenching on my car. Be back in just a minute. So I've got a little Harbor Freight bench here with a little bench grinder, few tools up here, tape measures, drill, little square, saw. These are my old screwdrivers along with some wires for doing some wiring stuff. Got the trusty old fire extinguisher. Got a couple of air tools. The air compressor that I got was actually a freebie that a neighbor gave me, so it doesn't quite handle some of these. I got them they're cheap at Harbor Freight. So what you're going to see here in my toolbox is I got a lot of Harbor Freight tools. So if we switch over to the cart. All right, so this here is just your standard US General Series 2 5-drawer cart. Got the top filled up here with all my sockets and ratchets. I got 12 point. These are all gear wrench. 12 point longs and shallows, or deep and shallows, and then kind of a hodgepodge miscellaneous bit of 6 point. Like here, these are. That's Pittsburgh Pro. I ended up with a Cobalt 12 point for the 18. I just was trying to fill things in. This one here is a 20 millimeter. I don't even know, was it Genius? I don't know. Just kind of filled those up. Got 1/4 inch over here. That was 3/8 if you didn't follow that. And this is kind of the same thing. Got a mix of Husky. I had an old Husky kit that I had a lot of these from, and then I just kind of filled it in with miscellaneous. Like finding this 4.5 millimeter one was like crazy difficult. What is this, a DeWalt? Yeah. Ended up getting those on Amazon. Got E-Torques, long set of E-Torques, and then a shallow set of E-Torques. These are all impact, I think 3/8 here. And then hex drivers, all in metric, and then some just regular Torques, 1/4 inch, 3/8 inch drive. Back in the back here are all the other selection of 1/4 inch. This is really the only. I've got a couple of SAE, but like these I just got because I have a couple of things on the bumper that I have that are SAE, and so I kind of needed those in order to get them tightened down properly. But I got the long hex, got these metric. These are all Pittsburgh, the little round nose. Those are kind of handy. And then just your standard hex. And then up here I have all the wrenches. And so, these are all gear wrench, except, like this one's channel. I got a couple of different sets of these ratcheting wrenches. This is happens to be a channel lock. But then I've got a full gear wrench set of the stubbies. It goes from 10 to 19 right here, I think is the biggest one. Yeah, 19. What is this? Oh, this is a 19 actually. So there's 19. And then I got a full set of the gear wrench, with the 15 degree, I believe, 10 degree offset, something like that are reversible. And then also have a set. These are actually Husky, the flex head ones. I need to find a either get the gear wrench or something to kind of match everything up. I kind of a freak about that. But then over here, I've also got the gear wrench long, the XLs. I actually have these from 8 all the way up to 25. We'll see in the other box there, the 25s. Got the reversibles also up to 25, and I've got the standard set up to 25. And so it's kind of nice to have that range in both the reversible and the standard. The standard ones are over in the other box. So a bunch of different wrenches or ratchets. So, I've got Flex. These are Pittsburgh Pro. And, little flex head stubbies. And also got just the standard stubby. And both the 1/4 inch, 3/8, and then the 1/2 inch. I don't have a 1/2 inch stubby. I mean, why do you really need that, right? Just the flex head one. So, and then a 1/4 inch. And these little composite ones, these are the Pittsburgh ones. These are kind of nice. I actually kind of dig these. Also have a flex in the Pittsburgh. And then just, this is a Husky. I had a Husky kit for a long time until I started kind of expanding what I got. These little kind of rotator heads. This is a 3/8. These are kind of cool. Kind of turn them into a speed wrench in essence. So also have a couple of these extendo ones. Like this one here has both the 1/4 inch and the 3/8 in there. They're kind of handy. Also have a big old 1/2 inch one that kind of broke the end off with a giant pipe. So still good use. So a couple of flex head. I got a flex head 3/8, and then also a flex head 1/2 inch, all on the Pittsburgh. Also got composite 1/2 inch. And then my favorite ones are these. These is the gear wrench flex head 3/8, and then also the 1/2 inch right here. So they're pretty handy. As you can see, I've got on the side here screwdrivers. So on this side, just the Phillips head set. I got these Quinn set recently, and these are pretty nice actually. The tips on these are pretty good. Haven't had too much opportunity to use them. Also have these really long, this is a long with the hammer where you can hammer on the end of them there, right? Those are kind of handy. And then, both the Phillips head and flathead. And then way back in the corner there, I don't know if you can see that, that's a 3/8 inch breaker bar. Let me see if I can get that out here. Again, this is just a Pittsburgh, and it's 3/8, pretty standard little breaker bar. I like to keep it stood up in there like that. It's a little easier to grab. And then over on this side are all the flathead screwdrivers. So and also got this little kit of pry bars, small all the way up to giganto. So those are pretty nice. Been using those a bunch. And like I said, these screwdrivers are pretty good. I've tried a few things with these, so haven't broke one yet. So that is the top. That's where all of the sockets and ratchets are. And so if we go down to some of these drawers here, this little drawer here is some of the precision stuff that I have. So, little picks, got a little auto punch here, pins. These are the tiny screwdrivers that come in that Quinn kit, and also have this little flexible. So this one here, I've got a knife that has these little Torx and I've only been able to find them in this kit, these small little Torx here. And so those are kind of nice to have for tightening up my knife when it kind of gets loose on the belt strap. So that's a nice little kit. Got a digital caliper. Pittsburgh, of course. Always pray that the battery is not dead on this when you open it up to use it. And just some 1/4-inch bits, some, box knife, some miscellaneous bits there. So, and going down the next drawer is just kind of my cleaning brush drawer. I have an air chuck, but this is a bunch of brushes I use for cleaning stuff off. Next drawer over is the hammers. So got a pretty good hammer set here. Rubber and plastic mallet there. Got a regular rubber mallet. Little 1.5-pound sledge. Another little 3-pounder. This brass hammer, man, this thing is super handy. Another Harbor Freight. And then got my big dead blow, and then my little dead blow. This one, seen better days. Also have this smaller little brass hammer. That thing comes in handy too. So moving on down. So the next one is the pliers. As you can see here, got a pretty good selection of pliers. Lock pliers, some snips. These tiny little pliers always come in handy when you're doing any kind of work on wiring, because they're handy. They can get in places. These here are the ones I use for clipping zip ties, those little side cutters. And then we got, of course, the Harbor Freight scissors. Get these for free with the coupon. Got these Cobalt. These are kind of like Nipex rip-off pliers. These are kind of handy. The jaws, as you can see there, just stay parallel, and so those are pretty nifty. Use those every once in a while and getting some bolts off. Also have my tool for tightening or loosening the struts or the coilovers front of the truck. Got, these are for, this is kind of a cool tool. It's for creating battery, crimping the batteries, and because you can kind of, if you can see that there, you get this thing apart and you can actually move these so that it'll fit on different size battery. And so that's kind of cool. That's a cool little tool to have. Big old pair of channel locks. Those are always handy as well. Next one down is kind of the impact stuff. Got 1/2-inch impact drives. 3/8 here. Got another big, this is a 1/2-inch breaker bar, Pittsburgh Pro. That's a gear inch 1/2-inch impact. Those things are really nice. Kind of fills up those Harbor Freight trays. Got both a Milwaukee. This isn't the fuel one, but this is Milwaukee, just regular 3/8 inch wireless, or battery powered ratchet. This is a 1/2-inch Craftsman. This is the 19.2 volt. And then also have Milwaukee Fuel 3/8 impact. That thing's pretty handy. This thing's, it's small like that, but it'll still take off your lug nuts. So that's this one. And so we'll go over to the other box now. All right, so this is the U.S. General 26-inch box. This one has the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 drawers, looks like. Always forget. But this one here is where I've got the vise mounted for, whacking stuff, bending stuff. And so let's look, top drawer here. I've pretty much got like electrical stuff, zip ties and some of the little shrink tubing, more zip ties, got a little O-ring set, set of clips. These come in handy for when you're pulling out the inside and you break something. These actually hold some wires and stuff too. Kind of a handy little kit to have when you're wiring stuff up. Just a small heat shrink kit. Just some little stoppers for like when I'm doing brakes. Little Benzomatic wireless soldering kit. That's kind of nice to have. Doing some soldering. And then, wire strippers. A couple kinds of wire strippers. These are handy. Had these for a lot longer. These are even more handy. Just kind of pop strips of wire right for you there. Rivet gun for doing rivets. Go down to the next drawer and we've got more wrenches. So this is where I've got like my old channel lock ratcheting wrenches, and then also like this. These are the standard gear wrench, without the offset. This is the 21 millimeter. I got these guys in the big boys, and then also the reversible wrench, and then all the way up to 25 millimeters, so big boys. And then also the XL size, 20, 21, 22, 24, and 25. Those are really nice to have when you're needing to crank on something, so good to have. Also have, these were the Pittsburgh stubbies that I have before I got the gear wrench ones I now have, so those are pretty handy to have. So we'll go down to the next drawer here, which is a few more wrenches. So these are just standard, non-ratcheting wrenches, little offset wrenches, my line wrenches here as well for pulling off brake lines. Set of crow's feet, also another set of 12-point gear wrench. Kind of an interesting story on those is Amazon sent them to the wrong place the first time, and then they replaced them, and then I got those maybe a month later. So anyway, those go in the backup bag. Some of the larger hexes here, these are Pittsburgh as well. All right, and then down the next drawer, this is kind of pry stuff. So we got some of those, the scraper kit from Harbor Freight, some removal for pulling clips and stuff off body panels in the interior, punch kit, this little brass punch is come in handy, punching things out. You don't mar anything, as you can see, getting some pretty good use out of it. Little file kit for filing out burrs and stuff in tiny holes, bigger files. These long handled pry tools for getting out body panel stuff. Also a little brake kit for doing drum brakes, pulling springs off, putting springs on. This is a tool for pulling out seal puller, really handy. Next drawer down, this is kind of, some more, got the Minivac bleed kit, some extra long cotter pins, those for putting on ball joints and getting the castle nut down. These are Pittsburgh torque wrenches. I've had several of these. They're actually covered by warranty, but they're like $10. Sometimes these little screws will come loose and pop out, but they work pretty good. So not too much of a complaint about that. That's a 1/2 inch one, 3/8 inch, and then another 3/8 that goes down in inch pounds. This is the Ames voltmeter, ohms meter. And then this is my little little scope, bore scope, I guess. Nice little kit here. You can take video and pictures. We'll going to be using that a little bit later. Some future videos. This here is for pulling off tie rod ends. You've got all these different adapters here that kind of go in the end, and then you can put your 1/2 inch drive in there and pull that thing off. So that's pretty handy to have, one of those kind of special tools you end up with. Don't do tie rods too often, but it's handy to have. Next one down is kind of the drawer I don't really ever want to get. When this one's opening up, getting the fan basically. And so this has, tap and die kit. This is the gear wrench one. These are the Irwin extractors. Like, I used this one a few times. I'm going to show you here in a future video when I pull out and change the diff oil, because I stripped out, the diff plug, the drain plug on those Forerunners, gets stuck. And so I've had to pull that sucker out with one of those. These are for nuts, screws, these as well. These work really good. They're super hard, so they just pull things out really easily. This tap and die kit, this is a gear wrench metric tap and die kit, and so this is really handy. Got an extra one. This was for doing the threads on the hitch mount on the back of the Forerunner, because that was all rusted. A couple adjustable wrenches, and then a speed 3/8 wrench there, or ratchet, I guess. Next one down is kind of the electronics. So got a Black & Decker drill bits, step bits down in the corner there. A couple of grinders. Of course, Dremel. Dremel always comes in handy. Got to have one of those. That's one of the original ones too. I've had that thing for probably 15 years now, so it's super handy to have. Assortment of cut-off wheels, wire brushes. Those grinders there, those are the Harbor Freight ones, and those things are like, I think, $10-15. So might as well have two, one for a cut-off wheel and one for a grinding wheel. That way you don't have to switch them out all the time. This bottom drawer is pullers. So, I got a bolt type wheel puller kit here. Got a bearing separator and puller set. Bearing race and seal driver kit. That's handy. Various pullers, tie rod, puller. One of these Pitman arm pullers. And then this is a special tool for pulling out the bearings on the rear axle of the Forerunner. This one is actually made by somebody off of eBay. I think his name is Dwayne. Really cool tool. Really super handy. This here, I just got this actually. This is a nibbler for cutting sheet metal. And so we're going to be using this in the future. We're going to make a little box to put the winch controller, well, winch solenoid, I guess, kind of keep it protected. So, that's pretty much it here in the garage. So, thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, comment down below if you have anything to say. Otherwise, I will see you next time. Thanks for watching.